Hello and welcome to the news at 5. I'm Dominic Iwiwa and these are the stories and reports we're tracking at the moment. The National Economic Council (NEC) has approved 100 billion naira pending final ratification by President Bola Tinubu for the rehabilitation and upgrade of training institutions for the police and other security agencies across the country. The approval follows recommendations from the ad hoc committee tasked with evaluating the condition of security training facilities nationwide, meeting for its 154th session on Wednesday in a virtual gathering chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. The council also endorsed 2.6 billion naira for consultancy services to support the overhaul. President Tinubu had earlier at NEC's 152nd meeting in October proposed a comprehensive revamp of security training institutions. Presenting the committee's findings, Chairman and Enugu State Governor Peter Amba described many of the facilities as being in critical condition, requiring urgent intervention. Responding, Vice President Kashim Shettima reaffirmed the administration's commitment to strengthening the nation's infrastructure. He also urged governors to ensure that economic reforms yield tangible, measurable improvements in the lives of citizens, stressing that governance is meaningful only when its impact is felt by the people and driven by action rather than rhetoric. Tension fled in the Senate on Wednesday as lawmakers clashed over whether former Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, retired, should undergo full screening before confirmation as Minister of Defense. A call by Senator Sani Musa to let the nominee take a bow and go was met with strong resistance from senators demanding a thorough vetting. The chamber briefly descended into chaos until Senate President Godswill Akpabio called for order, stressing that Nigerians deserved clear answers amid heightened insecurity. He tasked the nominee to probe the reported withdrawal of security personnel from Ikebi School shortly before the abduction of schoolgirls. General Musa, responding to the lawmakers' questions, lamented the country's persistent security challenges and called for a strengthened Safe School initiative, enhanced community-based security, and increased use of technology. He also emphasized improved accountability within the armed forces and urged stronger coordination among MDAs and neighboring countries to combat transnational terrorism. Now, the Senate has commenced debate on a bill seeking to amend the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act to classify kidnapping, hostage-taking, and related offenses as acts of terrorism. The proposed legislation, sponsored by the Senate's leader, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, prescribes the death sentence without the option of a fine or alternative sentence for offenders. According to him, the bill aligns with the upper chamber's recent commitment to work with the federal government to provide lasting solutions to the nation's security challenges. He recalled that 3 weeks ago, during an executive session, the Senate resolved to introduce the robust legal framework, specifically targeting the growing menace of kidnapping across the country. Presenting the bill, the Senate leader described kidnapping as one of the most pervasive and highly commercialized forms of violence perpetrated by criminal groups, noting that it has instilled widespread fear in communities and disrupted education, particularly for children. The proposed amendment seeks to formally designate kidnapping and hostage-taking as acts of terrorism under Nigerian law. Lawmakers say the introduction of the death penalty is intended to serve as a strong deterrent to perpetrators. Lawmakers also noted that during the bill's public hearing, appropriate sanctions should be considered for any financial institution found to be facilitating transactions linked to kidnappers, while some others further advocated for an end to the practice of granting amnesty to identify terrorists. The bill also scaled second reading. It has been referred to a joint committee on judiciary, human rights, and legal matters, Interior and National Intelligence, to report back in 2 weeks. Staying in the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has adopted 54 far-reaching resolutions on national security following the conclusion of its 3-day security debate last week. The resolutions outlined fresh measures to strengthen security operations across the country. Among the key recommendations are placing all security expenditure on first-line charge, exempting serving public officers from the presidential order withdrawal police from VIPs, and boosting intelligence gathering at community level. The House is also calling for stronger border protection, including the construction of perimeter walls. Lawmakers further recommend a comprehensive audit and tracking system for security agencies' arms and equipment to curb diversion, the public naming and prosecution of terrorism financiers, and the creation of a special court dedicated to terrorism, banditry, and related criminal offences. That temporary delay has now come to an end as the President's The Imo State government has flagged off the 2025 second round of Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week, a statewide campaign designed to improve the health and survival of pregnant women, nursing mothers and children under the age of 5. At the flag-off ceremony held in Owerri, the state's capital, the wife of the governor, Chioma Uzodinma, urges religious, community and traditional leaders across the state to support the exercise by mobilizing women and caregivers to access the free life-saving services. She notes that community influencers play a crucial role in ensuring full participation in the program. Our correspondent, Eitop Ekute, reports.
It is the official launch of the 2025 second round of the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week. The ceremony holding at the Imo State Primary Health Care Development Agency brings together government officials, development partners, and frontline health workers, all reaffirming their commitment to tackling preventable maternal and child mortality.
MNCH Week remains one of the most impactful, high-yielding interventions in our primary healthcare system, adopted nationwide to deliver a package of high-impact, low-cost intervention that contributes significantly to the reduction of maternal, newborn, and under 5 morbidity and mortality, especially in hard-to-reach areas.
The governor's wife, Chioma Uzodinma, calls on community, religious, and traditional leaders to intensify awareness efforts as this program provides an integrated package of preventive interventions that significantly improve maternal and child survival.
This week provides us the opportunity to reaffirm our collective pledge to create a brighter future for the next generation. Every child deserves the opportunity to grow up healthy, strong, and well-nourished, an aspiration made more attainable through the optimal utilization of the Maternal, Newborn, and Child Health Week interventions. I want to especially commend our frontline healthcare providers. You are the true heroes who bring this vision to life, and I urge you to continue your noble work with dedication and compassion. To our mothers and caregivers, I encourage you to take full advantage of the health services available during this week. Early childhood development, proper nutrition, immunization, and regular checkups are essential for the healthy growth and development of every child.
Available services during the week include HIV counseling and testing, antenatal care, multiple micronutrient and iron folate supplementation for pregnant women, as well as health education on hand washing, exclusive breastfeeding, and proper child care. The 2025 second round of the Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week will run from December 2nd to 7th across all wards in Imo State. Eitop Ekute, Channels Television News.
In a renewed effort to stem the tide of high rates of cervical cancer in Adamawa State, the Northeast Development Commission is collaborating with the state's chapter of the Medical Women Association of Nigeria to launch an intensive awareness and free screening campaign. The campaign is a part of a renewed effort aimed at combating its rising case and improve early detection across the Adamawa State.
The Northeast Development Commission, in collaboration with the Medical Women Association of Nigeria in Adamawa State, is holding this campaign at the Specialist Hospital in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, for women across the 21 local government areas of the state. According to data from US-based HPV Information Center, in 2023, an estimated 13,676 new cases of cervical cancer were diagnosed and 7,093 women died from the disease. This is part of Nigeria's higher-than-average burden, making it the leading country in Africa for both cervical cancer incidence and mortality.
We are here to continue with what we started, to do a screening, because we promised after the awareness that we're going to screen some women. And we hope to do a pap smear for 150 women. When we do this screening, it's expected that any woman that we confirm or has a problem, we will also treat them.
Studies in Adamawa State indicate a high prevalence of pre-malignant and malignant lesions, a low rate of screening uptake due to a lack of awareness and resources, and the human papillomavirus as a key causative agent. Under the theme, "Every story is unique, every journey matters," the screening aims at educating women on cancer prevention and free cervical cancer screening.
It's a disease that is preventable. It's a disease that when it's diagnosed early, it can be treated with a very good success rate. But unfortunately, most of our women present very late when we have really very little or nothing to offer.
This awareness is very, very good to us, because most of people are living ignorantly. They don't know their status, they don't know what to do, and they don't know where to go. But with this laudable project from the Medical Women Association, it will help and go alone in the life of women.
The Adamawa State government and various partners through the Adamawa State Primary Healthcare Development Agency have launched initiatives to improve the situation. These efforts aim to increase awareness and make screening services more accessible to combat the high burden of the disease in the state.
Over in Abia State, Governor Alex Oti has reaffirmed his administration's commitments to a merit-based civil service as Abia State gets set to host the 44th National Council of Civil Service Commissions meeting in Umuahia. He restated this while receiving a delegation from the Federal Civil Service Commission and State Chairman of Civil Service Commissions, led by the Chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission, Professor Tunji Olaokpa, in his office.
A delegation from the Federal Civil Service and State Chairman of Civil Service Commissions, led by the Chairman, Professor Tunji Olaokpa, visit the country home of the Abia State Governor, Dr. Alex Oti, in Ishialangwa South Local Government Area.
A servant leader.
It's part of activities for the 44th National Council of Civil Service Commissions meeting, which brings together key stakeholders to discuss reforms of the civil service across the country.
One of the things that will feature in our conversation is that the Federal Civil Service Commission has developed a strategic plan to unfold a movement around revolutionizing, career management as it touches on the responsibility of the Federal Civil Service Commission.
The chairman of the Abia State Civil Service Commission, Dr. Enojerieze, describes Abia's selection as host of the meeting as a national endorsement of the sweeping reforms being implemented under Governor Oti's administration.
Your Excellency, this conference is giving us a national platform to showcase the work we are doing to reposition the Abia State Civil Service in line with your vision of a modern professional service.
Governor Alex Oti reiterated his administration's resolve of building a modern, professional and merit-driven civil service.
We've noted some of the comments about the strategic plan and the thought about the state. I can assure you that we will respond even before you ask. We've tried to reinvent the civil service, because the civil service is the engine room of any government.
The 44th National Council meeting of Civil Service Commissions commenced from November the 30th and will run till December the 5th in Umuahia, Abia State.
You're watching the news at 5 Live on Channels Television. Still ahead in the world of business. Cash demand surges as currency outside bank hits 4.65 trillion naira. That and more when we come back. Welcome back. The Lagos State government has announced that the contractors handling the rehabilitation works along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway will vacate the site on Thursday, 4th December 2025 and resume the rehabilitation works in January 2026. The State Special Advisor on Infrastructure, Mr. Olufemi Daramola, made this known during an on-the-spot assessment of the ongoing rehabilitation work from Admiralty Way to Jubilee Bridge in Abia area of Lagos.
On behalf of Mr. Babajide Governor, this project has started.
About a month ago, the Lagos State government announced the commencement of the rehabilitation work along the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, spanning through Admiralty Junction to Jubilee Bridge in Etiosa, local government area of Abia. For the past 4 weeks, it's been a nightmare for motorists plying the route, with heavy gridlock in and out of the axis owing to the repair work and road diversion. Some of the road users have resorted to trekking, while others stuck in the traffic appeal to the government to provide alternative route.
We've been on this road since 5 a.m. I think the government should do something. Since 5 a.m., open the coastal road. If you are repairing this road, then give us an alternative. You can't box all of us here since 5 a.m.
The outcry of commuters appear to have gotten the attention of the government, as the team from the Office of Infrastructure and the Ministry of Transportation visit the area to see the progress of work.
Open this so that this vehicle traffic now can move straight on this lane up to where you are laying binder. And now, no need binder wearing. Let's do only binder, cover everything.
The Special Advisor on Infrastructure says the contractors in charge of the rehabilitation work will stop work on Thursday, December the 4th, and resume in January 2026.
We appreciate the patience of Lagosians. However, we are also very wary of the hardship it has brought, but it's temporary. We mentioned earlier that this will be on critical sections so that we can open by the end of the first week of December, and that is our aim. We've come to visit the site to see the progress towards opening immediately. We've taken a look at the Chevron intersection, and that has been opened, and this section and other sections will be open in due course.
The State Commissioner for Transportation expresses sympathy with motorists plying the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway and also speaks confidently on the durability of the road sections that have been fixed.
I empathize with all of the troubles that they must have been through in a couple of days. It's also very important for us to also fix this road, because bad road is synonymous to traffic as well. We know that a lot of people will be coming in from diaspora, and we want to give them a good experience of our roads. So we would be leaving this location by end of work tomorrow, and the roads will be free for us to use. I can tell you for free that for the part that they've done, the Lagosians will be happy.
The Lagos State government says work will resume fully on the Etiosa Lekki-Ekpe Expressway after the Yuletide season, just to ensure that the critical road structure corridor providing access to residential, commercial and industrial hubs within the eastern flank of the state return to shape as soon as possible.
The Ogun State government says its partnership with the World Bank in 4 thematic and critical sectors of the state's economy has improved institutional reforms, service delivery, strengthened public institutions, which has led to extended economic opportunities. The State Commissioner for Finance, who also doubles as the chairman of the Project Steering Committee of the State Economic Transformation Project, a World Bank-sponsored program, Dr. Okubadejo, gave the hint in Abia, the state's capital.
Thank you. The World Bank-sponsored program, executed through the Ogun State Economic Transformation Project, focuses on 4 thematic projects: agriculture, education, economic transformation, and skills development. This gathering, which is the 8th and final session, was attended by the representatives of the World Bank Implementation Support Mission, government officials, sectoral heads, among others, to evaluate, consolidate, and chart paths for sustainability of the state project.
Over the life cycle of Oxted, we have witnessed a purposeful drive toward improving service delivery, strengthening public institutions, expanding economic opportunities, and building systems that support inclusive growth. This project has served as a catalyst for reforms across key sectors.
All our 8 government technical colleges have been rehabilitated and upgraded, and laboratories for 22 flagship schools and 4 education resource centers have been fully rehabilitated and equipped, bringing the total number of institutions to 34.
The coordinator of the State Economic Transformation Project gives an overview of the projects executed and appreciated the World Bank team for their intervention.
The drawings for the 150-kilometer feeder roads, which was stepped down, has been handed over to RAMP. That was done on the 12th of November. And the PC RAMP is now in custody of all those documentations. And so we want to believe that at the World Bank level, there's going to be like a handshake at that level too, so that they can get on the roads, because it's going to, if we get the roads done, it will enhance the sustainability plans for the currently built agro-processing centers. If we don't do those roads, we are not going to be able to optimize the value that we will get from those agro-processing centers.
The Ogun State Economic Transformation Project was established in 2020 to fast-track the development of key economic indexes of the state through agriculture and ease of doing business.
In the world of business, Nigeria's business environment maintained its expansionary trajectory in the latter half of 2025, and this is according to the NESG Business Confidence Monitor, a joint report by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group and Stanbic IBTC. In its latest report, the NESG BCM shows that the country's business performance index increased marginally to 113.3 points last month, up from 111.3 points in October this year and 97.3 points in the same period in 2024. The steady improvements, which marks 11 consecutive months of favorable operating conditions, reflects a combination of sectorial gains driven by strengthened performance across key sectors, particularly the surge in activity within the trade sector. A sectorial highlight of the report shows that all 5 major economic activities remained in the expansion region during the month. The trade sector recorded the most substantial increase, rising by 71.1 points to 186.5 index points. Non-manufacturing closed at 117.0, manufacturing closed at 114.2, services earned 105.8, and agriculture 103.3 points, also expanded, though at a more moderate pace compared to November 2024. Nigeria's central bank has revised its cash withdrawal rules, which is set to take effect from January next year. According to the new withdrawal and deposit rules, individuals will be allowed to take out up to 500,000 naira weekly across all channels, while corporate entities will be limited to 5 million naira per week. The Apex Bank explains that the new set of cash-related policies is designed to reduce the cost of cash management, strengthen security, and curb money laundering risks associated with the economy's heavy reliance on physical currency. However, the CBN says that revenue-generating accounts of federal, state, and local governments, along with accounts of microfinance banks and primary mortgage banks with commercial and non-interest banks, are exempt from the new withdrawal limits and excess withdrawal fees. It adds that the over-the-counter encashment limit for third-party checks remains at 100,000 naira and also forms part of the weekly withdrawal limit. Meanwhile, currency outside banks, COB, climbed for the second consecutive month to 4.65 trillion naira in October as Nigeria's appetite for cash intensified. According to the latest money and credit statistics obtained from the financial market regulator, this rose by 4.07% in October, adding 181.71 billion naira to the 4.47 trillion naira recorded in September. The uptick follows a modest increase of 14.73 billion naira in September, after the indicator shed 43.44 billion naira between June and August. Similarly, currency in circulation rose by 107.95 billion naira, or 2.1% month-on-month, to 5.06 trillion naira in October, up from 4.95 trillion naira in September. This represents a month-on-month increase of CIC had earlier grown by 29.57 billion naira in September, after a cumulative decline of 78.16 billion naira between June and August. The increase signals a renewed scramble for fiscal cash across households and business, despite ongoing monetary tightening by the CBN. And that's it on Business News and News at 5. I'm Dominic Iriu. Up next is The World Today. Enjoy the rest of your evening.